Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about being better. So, what made me want to talk about being better is today is my birthday. So, not just because it's my birthday, I want to be better. Every day I want to be a better person, but I also want to acknowledge that sometimes people like to say that with age comes wisdom. And I think what they mean when they say that is that you become a wiser person because you start to gain more knowledge throughout your life. But I believe that true wisdom comes from the person who's willing to learn from other people, who's willing to learn from their past mistakes and apply that to their life now and in the future. And so, if you could be a person who's growing older in age but doesn't take heed to any knowledge, education, or circumstance, like you could be in a situation and learn a lesson from it and make the same mistake over and over again. It's until you choose to become a better person, to take those experiences and learn from them, that it breeds true wisdom. And so, I truly believe that you could be 15 and have wisdom. You could be 56 and have wisdom. It just depends on if you're willing to listen to others and take that knowledge and apply it to your life. So I always hear like some people say, old fool, things like that. But I think that that example is true because you see a lot of people make the same mistake over and over again, and it's not for me to judge them. I'm not saying it in a judgmental way. I'm just saying it that sometimes it's easy to think that because you're getting older, you're more knowledgeable. But it's really true knowledge, true growth really comes from you taking that lesson, that experience, and turning it into an example, turning it into a lesson so that you can become a better person. So today I am just doing the normal things. So, I worked today and then I decided to do some more organizing in the house. And of course, it's not a mess or anything like that. Like things were different places where I just like put them in a different place temporarily and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move this eventually so that it can be in some place that's designated for, I don't know, mail or whatever it is. And I'm not saying that I have mail all over the house. The mail was in a pile on like a shelf and I'm just like it can't just be on this shelf. It needs to be in a place like I don't know if I need to get a box, like a burn box or something where I can just burn the mail eventually. And then I also had like so I have like this kind of catch-all thing on the nightstand where I keep like my jewelry and I keep my phones and things like that. And so occasionally I'll read a book or do a journal, and the journal and book will end up there. Then it'll be something like, I'll need a pen, and I put a pen there. Then I go back into another room, and it's like, oh, let me put another pen in there. I don't know why I had so many pens there, but they were there. And so I'm organizing, and on my birthday, I get like I let me tell you this story. So I'm out and about this morning when I dropped my daughter off at school, and I wanted to do some things before work and everything too. So I'm out and about and I go and buy these flowers for myself, my favorite flowers. And I'm like, oh man, this is so amazing. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna make a charcuterie board, and it's not gonna have meat in it or whatever else I can't eat for the next day. So so let me go home and make this board, and I'm gonna have my flowers and my wine. I'm gonna do a nice bubble bath with rose petals and candles, and I mean the works, like, because I honor and respect and love myself. So if I love myself, I want to do what I would want someone else to do for me. So if I would want, I'm not trying to be like too intimate or personal, and I'm not saying it because I want to divulge too much information. I'm just saying that I really anything that I would ever want someone else to do for me, like flowers or going somewhere or going to a restaurant or going to a movie theater or to a museum or whatever it is, I'm going to do that for myself because I don't want to wait for someone else to do those things. Life is too short. I have a life to live and I can't keep waiting. I don't want to say keep waiting because I'll wait as long as God needs me to wait. Let me just say that and clarify that. But and I also want to make sure that every day that God allows me to have, especially being able to see this age, because not a lot of people got to grow, got to become this age. And today, for my birthday, I wanted to give homage to those people. I wanted to live for those people today, the people that didn't get to live to my age, the people who were gone at a young age, the people who aren't here, but we still remember their memories. And so for me, it's not just about just celebrating my life. It's about celebrating the lives that are no longer here, that didn't get to celebrate this day as I did. And so so I was just thinking, oh yeah, I got this whole thing planned out. It's gonna be nice. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a whole vibe. You know, I'm always saying that, but really it is. Like, I really go all out for myself. I really do. Like, I got like my favorite drink. And when I say drink, don't feel like I'm afraid to say like if it's alcohol, non-alcoholic, or whatever else. I'm just saying drink because I want to make sure that I'm just being general. I don't, it's not that I'm like afraid to be honest about or transparent about anything. I'm just saying in general because I don't want anyone to feel a certain type of way or to feel like I'm trying to say that it's wrong to do certain things. I also believe that if something is tempting for you or if you have an issue with something, don't do that. Like just because it's my vibe doesn't mean it's your vibe. Like, make sure that you are doing things that are beneficial to you and helpful to you, and not just something that you see someone else do. So, I always want to say that because it's so easy to see someone do something and be happy about it and think that you want to do the same thing. So, so yeah, I got this whole vibe set up. I got my favorite flowers, I got my drink, I got the charcuterie board I'm making, and I am just like, oh, the bubble bath with the rose petals and I got this, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a tea thing. It's a bath tea. And so I know that sounds weird, but it's got all of these things that are really good for your skin. They soften your skin, they moisturize your skin, and they also allow for your muscles to be like not super relaxed, but kind of like Epsom salt where it starts to relax your body so it doesn't feel tense and it allows you to just be like so I had that going on, and I got it from a local place. So I can't think of what the name of the place is. I know that's horrible, but they were at like one of the shows that I was at, and they had like these little samples, and you buy stuff and they put it in your bag or whatever. So I had one of those. So this whole vibe is done. Like I'm like, if someone else was doing this birthday for me, this is exactly what I would want. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to not go anywhere. I am going somewhere as well, but today, on my birthday, I just decided, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. So I'm on the way home and I stop at the store because there's this lady who has the same birthday as me. So every year or whatever else, like whenever I see her and she's at the store, she's like, "Oh, my birthday twin." And so we always like laugh about it and things like that. And she's older than me, so I was born on her birthday. So I go and I stop at the store and I have these gorgeous flowers that are my favorite flowers and God's like give them to her. And and I was like, okay. So I pick up the flowers and I go get out of the car and I give it to the lady and I'm like, okay, give this to my birthday twin. And she'll know who it's from because, we have the same birthday and whatever else. And so I leave and I feel like I want to say I feel good immediately. Like I don't want to say I didn't feel good and I didn't feel bad. I just felt content, like, okay, I just did that. But, whenever God asks you to do something, it's really good to be obedient because you never know what's going to happen. And, just like that, I literally was thinking in my mind, I wish I could get this. I wish I could get that. And this is what I want for my birthday. And I got all of those things today. I don't know. Like God was in my mind. I literally I did ask, but I didn't like know it was gonna be a thing. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I really just thought things and they happened. And I could have probably got the last thing too if I would have acted right, but but I was trying to do better and to be vulnerable. And sometimes it's still really hard for me to be vulnerable. And I'm not going to lie and pretend like I knew it's something I had to work on and all of a sudden I'm 100% great at it. Like, that's not how it works. It really does take time and effort. It's something that I have to grow into. It's something that I have to be able to do, to learn to be able to do. I can't just allow someone into my life or allow them to just run all over top of me or talk to me any kind of way or do whatever they feel like it and then act as if I don't matter. Like, I can't do that. And so in order for me to be vulnerable, I'm gonna have to be comfortable. I'm gonna have to be able to feel like I can start to trust someone or feel like they're a person of their word. And if they're not, I can't be vulnerable with them. It just is what it is. And I know people are probably saying, duh, well, obviously don't be vulnerable with that type of person. And I understand but why you're saying that when you're not, your heart's not in it. And that's all good and everything. But yeah, we're not talking about the people who have all the answers and know everything that they should do in their life. We're talking to the people who are not perfect, the people who know that they have issues or problems that are willing to work on those things and acknowledge that they're human and they're going to make errors. They're going to make human error. They're going to make mistakes because it's all a part of the learning and growing process. It's all a part of being a human. We can't just snap our fingers and just do everything perfectly. That's not how life is. We have to learn and grow at our own time, at our own speed, doing the things that God thinks will help us to grow and push us out of our comfort zone. It's not a your test, it's a my test. So I say that because I hear so many people say, I would do this in this situation. Oh, not me. I would never let. And it's really easy to say that when you're not in the situation and when your heart's not in it. But when your heart is in it, or if you really do truly desire something, it's hard to just be like, oh, well, that's unrealistic. And it's easy to believe that when you don't have any feelings in there, when you don't feel like an idiot because you start to like someone, or when you don't feel like when someone doesn't make you feel like you don't matter. Like, even though you know you matter, you have your purpose, you're God's child. He has a purpose for you. You love yourself, but then you start to think, can anyone else love you? Because even though you love yourself, will anybody be able to love you that much? Like, or, God loves you, but no human is going to be able to love you like God does. You know what I'm saying? So it's totally different. And and it really behooves me that some people can think that they just will do everything right. Like in any situation, they would just make all these great decisions. When if that was the case, then you would just be God and you're not. So we need to be realistic and understand that we are all human. And instead of judging someone or making someone feel a certain type of way for making certain decisions in their life, let's have a little grace for them and ourselves and understand that they are human and that just because they didn't do it the way that we would doesn't mean that they're not trying. They they may just need to do it at a different pace because for them this is hard or this is a lot. And so just be mindful. And so so I'm thinking, oh yeah, these flowers would be great. Next thing you know, I had given up the flowers. I just am content with this decision because what God asked me to do, and I know that everything He asked me to do is for a reason. And I know this is like a testimony. This is like me about to start preaching, and I'm gonna try not to be too preachy because I feel like there's always a revelation or a lesson or something that can preach in my life every single day, and I'm like, am I a preacher at heart? I don't understand why this keeps happening to me. But but it does. And so I give away these flowers. I come home, I do like the normal like bath with rose petals and the little mixed stuff in the bath tea bag, and I'm getting ready to make my charcuterie board, but I just end up doing something else. I don't know what else I did. I think I picked up my daughter from school. But so no, I got ready to pick her up from school. I go to walk out of the door, and guess what's on my doorstep? The roses. I mean the flowers. But no, these aren't like the flowers that I got. These are like a times 10 of the flowers that I got. Like they look so amazing. It looks like Jesus touched them. No, no, but seriously, they're like it's colorful and vibrant and it's my favorite flowers and it's so many different things with different colors and it's like double the size of the flowers that I gave away and I'm just like, well, won't he do it? Like I know that's so cliche, but seriously, like I had given it up just thinking like this is an act of kindness, me being obedient. And God really just blessed me with more just like that. And I didn't know, like I had no idea that I was going to be able to get something that was There was more. I didn't know that he was going to give me more just by being obedient. I mean, I should have known. This is what I'm talking about. Spiritual amnesia. That's exactly, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, seriously, it's like life happens and we really forget how good God is. Or something happens in our life, we're in a resting space, we're in a waiting season, or whatever else. And the next thing you know, we just feel like we forgot who God is. We forgot that He does the things that He promised that He would do. And I don't know why it's always a surprise to me that He comes through. He's not like a human, He is God. And in Bible study today, we talked about God being omnipresent, omnipotent, and some other things. I didn't bring my book in here like I usually do. Usually I have my book and I'm flipping back and forth going through notes and stuff that I wrote. But the pastor said something like, God keeps his promise even though people don't, even though man doesn't. Man don't, or something like that is what he said. And I think so, based off of the lesson plan, what that means is that any promise that God is giving you, that anything that he's told you that he's going to do in your life, he's going to do at an appointed time. There might be people who don't keep their word. There might be people who mess up, make mistakes, who aren't true to the things that they say they're going to do, but God will always keep his promise. And that's something that you could always lean on. You can always know is that understanding and knowing that he's always going to be there and he's always going to be looking out for our best interest. That does it for me. Like, it really does. Like, it gives me that peace. It gives me that ability to be rooted in faith when I know that he is always going to be there for me and with me. Like, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm doing. And it always happens that way. I don't know why I would think like relationships or friendships would be any different. When God told me to let go of certain people in my life, and I'm not saying just friends, it could be in general, I really felt like, oh man, but this is such and such. I've been with this person for however many years, blah, 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 excuse after excuse after excuse until you release it because you're being obedient. And the next thing you know, the people that God has allowed in my life are so amazing. Like, I couldn't imagine a better support system than the people that God introduced in my life and allowed to stay there. Because there have been times that I have been like, I don't know. And they have been like, no, we don't make it through this. Exactly when I needed it. It's like God put people in a position exactly where they needed to be so that they can help me, so that they can keep pushing me forward in my life. And it is amazing. And it's so weird because I know all of these things, like just like the flower incident, just like so many other things that I've gotten rid of that God has given me better. It's like when it comes to relationships or things like that, and God is saying, let go of this thing, let go of that thing, let go of this person. And I'm just like, but, and you can't imagine anything better. You can't imagine that there could actually be a healthy relationship. You can't imagine that someone would actually be a person of their word, that they would actually keep their word, that they would be a person who is intentional or whatever else. And then God surprises you. And I'm saying that in a faith state because I'm not there. Like, I'm not saying I mm, you will think that you need something in your life and God will say that's not for you. That's not what I intended for you. And you can't imagine letting it go because it just seems like nothing is going to be better than that. It just seems like, but this person is this, and this. So why not this person? This person is nice. Why not this person? This person is understanding. Why not this person? This person's a hard worker. Why not this person? And the list goes on and all excuse after excuse after excuse that you tell yourself just so you don't let go and let God. And And little do we know, or we already know, but because of spiritual amnesia, we just forget. We forget that God is the God who does not lie, who has made promises on our life, who promised us things and will come through, who is always looking out for our best interest. And we're holding on to these things for no reason. They don't mean us any good. They don't do us any good. They're not pushing us forward. They're holding us back. They're stealing our joy and peace. And yet, for some reason, we feel like we can't let go because of the normalcy, because of society, because of the world, instead of understanding that God is going to take care of everything. Like, I'm not saying be lazy and just act like, oh God, I'm a Christian, so go ahead and do everything. Like, don't do that. But be obedient, sacrifice, and allow God to lead the way so that He can give you everything that you need. Don't just don't do so much that you are the God of your life instead of allowing God to be God over your life. Because He can do way better than I could ever do. And I know that. And still, sometimes it's hard for me to let go of some things. And it's not that I don't trust God. It's just that I've never seen it. And so in my mind, I'm forgetting that of God's promises. I'm forgetting that I can't lean on my own understanding. I'm forgetting that He is going to do all of the things that He said He's going to do, that He's a God, that He does not lie. I'm forgetting that every time I've given up something, there has been something better that has come around. And the only difference is this time I I've never been in an area of my life like this. And so for me, it's hard to imagine, but I do have hope, if that makes any sense. Like, I have hope because I trust God, even though I don't know what the income's going to be, even though I don't know when or where or how. I still know that God is who He says He is, and that's all I need to know. And so, oh, and I was going to talk about being better. So I talked about the wisdom stuff. I talked about that. And, giving and allowing God to take the lead is being better because you are allowing God to be better. So you ever see someone who really, I don't want to say makes you mad because they don't make you mad, but they hurt you and you see them and you're not mad that they hurt you because they're human. You're mad because you were stupid enough to fall for it. And so, or you were stupid enough to just be vulnerable in that situation, or you were, I don't want to say stupid, that's like really not a nice word, but you just feel naive, silly for allowing yourself to be in a situation like that. And you see them and you want to be godly and nice, and on the inside you feel really, really ridiculous because of the way you behaved in the situation and you weren't as strong as you wanted to be. So I was in that situation today. And I really would like to say that I did better, that I just, was the bigger person, and I did the most ridiculous thing ever. I didn't do anything crazy. I just didn't do anything. And I really would have loved to be the better person and just be like, extend an olive branch, or to be at least general, like a general, like acquaintance, acquaintance type thing. Like, I feel like that would have been me at my best level. I literally felt like this is just me being real, because I feel like I'm not the only person who just doesn't do everything right and who doesn't always do the right thing in every situation. And I didn't do this intentionally because I was like going out of my way to be a mean person, or I just wanted to be rude or anything. I just was in my head. I was really like, can't believe you fell for that. I can't believe that you didn't do this. I can't believe that you said this and you didn't say that. And you can't change the past. So it's none of the things that you can control. So I don't know what was going on, but and then in my head I was just like, you can't show your face. Like, you just, and then part of me was like, no, I need to stand up for myself. I need to stand flat footed and strong. I need to make sure that I know that I'm whose I am. I need to remember that just because I made a mistake doesn't mean this is who I am. I need to be stronger than this in this moment. And I was talking life into myself, but before I knew it, the person was gone. So it was too late. It was too late, but I still was just like, I wanted to say it in the video because I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm perfect. or that I just make the best decisions every time. Sometimes, like, I really feel like if you don't know what to say or do, don't do anything. And that's exactly what I did because I was just like, like, so, God, if you wanted me to do something and I just didn't hear because I was overanalyzing my mind or whatever else, I didn't do anything because I know that you say if you don't know what to do, just be still. And I was still. That's a trait. So, do better. In conclusion, do better. Whatever you have to do in any situation. If you don't know what to do, do nothing. Be be polite, be kind. Don't be over the top. Don't do the most. Like, I'm not saying you should go kiss someone's behind that's been really rude or disrespectful to you. I'm saying that you should be leading with love and kindness. So even if you see the person and they see you and you just do one of those, or you say hi, and that's it. Like, and then just keep it moving. You don't have to be extra. You don't have to be over the top. You don't have to be like walking in front of them or doing any extra stuff. Like, and then hopefully you don't just get all up in your head and then just keep thinking about different scenarios and then talk yourself into positivity. And then, I mean, it's good. Nothing happened, so that's good. But I just, this is me, so that happens. But definitely do better. Lean out on your own understanding. Know that God is always with you. He's going to guide you wherever it is that you need to go. And when you feel resistant, when God is asking you to do something, don't. Just to be obedient, be willing to sacrifice, and be willing to follow his lead, because whatever he has for you is going to be better than anything that you could ever imagine for yourself.